Do you ever just walk into a room and somehow everybody feels your energy before they can even speak? Not because they're the hottest, not because they're the loudest or the most rich and famous, but because something about their energy is just so incredibly glowing and attractive that you just have to gravitate towards them. And for the longest time, I thought that magnetism was so unattainable. Like, some people were just born glowing and the rest of us were supposed to catch up. But after years of heartbreak and lots of heartbreak, rebuilding new habits, breaking old patterns, spiritual awakenings, and truly just learning how to stop abandoning myself, I realized that magnetism is not beauty. It's not anything that is materialistic and that I can touch. It's truly alignment. It's energy. It's frequency. And the version of you that is already so magnetic, that is attracting everything and anything that you wanted to this world, already exists. You just have to become them. So hi, my name is Victoria Santiago, and this is my first podcast ever, which is so exciting and also both terrifying. But I wanted this space to feel like a real talk. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about how to become the most evolved version of ourselves, how to tap into the highest version of ourselves, where I can share some of my past experiences and how I've overcome them and what I'm still overcoming right now, because I don't want to sit here and pretend like I have all my life figured out, because I don't. So let's figure it out together. Let's talk about it and become the best version of ourselves. Also, if I'm looking this way, it's because I have all my notes over here, so don't mind that. Yeah. Okay, so I honestly think that our purpose lies way deeper than what we look like or what we were made to look like by whoever it is that you believe in, God, the universe. I feel like as a society, we always focus on how we look like physically rather than focusing on the energy, which is what really matters, because that is where true magnetism lies. Okay, so let's talk about the biggest lie that we've all been sold. If you believe that the most societally, conventionally attractive people are only the ones that achieve magnetism, you have it all wrong. Because have you ever met someone that is so physically attractive, but the minute that they open their mouth to speak, suddenly everything changes about them? Like, your whole perception of them is kind of tainted a little bit. And I really just think that people focus on the idea of being more desirable than just living life itself and living the present moment, because that is why it's called the present. It's a gift, okay? Every single moment right now is so important, and the decisions that we're making every single second are reframing our thoughts. So what sort of identity are you living in every single day? What behavior are you currently acting on that is currently shaping the identity that you do not want to associate yourself with? So that leads me to point number one. My point number one is to be obsessed with yourself. Because how are you going to find someone that is obsessed with you healthily if you don't even take care of yourself? If you don't take the time to really tend to your needs, you're constantly tending after other people's. Baby girl, it's time to start tending to yourself. You come first. You're the most important person in your life. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to love yourself the way that you love other people. First, always. I don't mean arrogance. I mean, love yourself deeply. Romanticize your life. Protect your peace at all costs. Say no to things that do not feel right. And do not give an explanation for it, because you don't need to be giving an explanation to anybody. No is no. Point blank, period. Bye. You know what I mean? If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. This is your life, and you need to take control of what comes next. And for you to take control of what comes next is taking control of the little things. So learn your patterns that you want to break, patterns that you want to learn, patterns that you want to shape. Protect your mind at all costs. Invest in your mind. Invest in your body. Go to the gym. Take a walk. Go outside. Touch some grass. For real. It's so healing to touch some grass. It's so, like, I feel like it's become this running joke of touching grass, but truly the earth has negative and positive ions that the minute that you touch some grass, it acts as like this iman, like a magnet. It acts as this like iman, like a magnet, and it takes away all the negative ions and it pours the positive ions into your body, which makes it so healing. So scientifically, it's been proven. So go touch some grass. Learn what drains and what expands you. Like the people that you're currently spending time with. How do you feel when you leave the hangout? Are you drained? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like you've been challenged creatively? I feel like something that I've learned throughout my whole spiritual awakening process has been that the world reacts differently when you're internally rooted, when you know exactly who you are and you don't apologize for it whatsoever. Because the right people will naturally be attracted to you, and the people that don't, they're just not aligned with you, and that's okay. You can still respect them, you can still love them. It just means that you don't align energetically, and we don't have to make that work if it doesn't work. So how do you change your energy? Well, how do you treat yourself when nobody's watching? What kind of thoughts and patterns are you enforcing every single day that are creating new neural pathways in your brain that are maybe not aligned with the identity that you want to become in this world? One of my favorite books of all time, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, he talks about emotions and energy in motion. And he says that energy is frequency, and our frequency carries information. Based on our own personal thoughts and feelings, we are always sending and receiving information. Here's a graph that he posted in his book. It just shows how your energy vibrates based off of different emotions. And so we have over here, in the bottom, we have lust, pain, victimization, suffering, and shame. Versus in the top energetic vibrations, we have bliss, freedom, love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude. And this brings me to something I had to learn the hard way. Are you acting as a participant or the patient in your life? A lot of people live life like life is just happening to them. They wait for healing. They wait for love. They wait for confidence. They wait for permission. Magnetic people participate in their lives, even when they're scared, even when they're healing, even if they don't fully believe in themselves just yet, because your identity is built through action, not waiting. And obviously none of this is easy because habits are powerful and breaking them is hard. It's so hard to break a habit because your brain loves familiarity, even when familiarity is hurting you. I don't even know if I'm saying that word correctly. Sometimes my Spanish accent comes out. I hope so. Well, people think that transformation is this whole big thing, this whole big moment that you're like, oh my gosh, suddenly I'm a new person. But no, transformation comes from the little decisions that you choose to take every single day. It's almost microscopic movements. It's this like exponential graph that you're growing 1% every single day until one day you just shoot up to the top and you're like, oh, suddenly I have a whole new life. And that is what breaking habits is, and creating new habits as well. It's choosing differently repeatedly. It's interrupting old emotional patterns and seeing, hey, I'm aware of where I want to go. This is not serving me. The minute that you're aware of your old emotional patterns, you have the right to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. It's uncomfortable and I'm going to choose differently. You're just catching yourself before the self-sabotage and learning to sit with the discomfort without running back to what numbs you, whether that is drugs or distractions or people or whatever it is, you know. It's everything that distracts you from actually sitting with yourself and saying what it is that I need. Because like I said, you're the most important person in your life. Healing is not always glamorous. It's just consistency. And that is where energy and vibration lie. And whether or not you agree with every single spiritual concept, I really do think that this is important to talk about, because whether you constantly live in fear, shame, judgment, resentment, desperation, lust, or insecurity, you're really shrinking your world. And you repel alignment because your nervous system is just operating from survival. But emotions like gratitude, love, freedom, peace, inspiration, and authenticity, they create expansion. And I put this graph right here so you can really see it. And people feel that. Opportunities feel that. Abundance feels that. Relationships feel that. And your body feels that most important. And I really don't think that this means being positive all the time, because toxic positivity is really a thing. But one of my biggest and firmest beliefs that I believe is to heal is to feel. And you can't heal without feeling. So I really do think in life, everything's all a balance, because you really can't heal if you're not feeling. I really do think it's becoming aware of the emotional state that you're living in most often. Because at the end of the day, being magnetic is less about becoming someone new. And it's really about just removing everything that disconnected you from parts of yourself. My last note that I wanted to add is the last agreement in the 4 Agreements book, one of my favorite little pamphlets of all time. And it is always do your best. Know that you're a human being and you're going to have days where you don't feel the most confident version of yourself, and you're going to talk ill about yourself and you're going to put yourself down, and you're just not going to make the decisions that align with the best version of yourself. And that is okay. But the most important thing is to step back and say, this is not aligning with the person that I'm trying to become. This is a part of instant gratification. So what can I do? Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow I have the decision to be better. This next second even, I have the decision to be better. And it's all a decision. It's all a conscious decision to move forward. Because if we're living life in autopilot, what is it for? We're creating history right now. Let's open our eyes, live in the present moment, live in the most authentic version of ourselves, heal, feel, have fun, live in joy, gratitude, bliss, because we deserve that and you deserve that. So if you're listening to this while actively trying to rebuild your confidence, you're healing, you're trying to become more authentic, and just trying to build better habits, know that your energy can change your life. Not magically, not overnight. I can't close my eyes and open them and suddenly I'm this whole new person. But over time, with the little decisions that I choose every single day, intentionally, honestly, like truly slowly, like taking a step back and living a slower paced life and really say what it is that I need for myself and my own happiness to become the best and brightest version of myself today, tomorrow, always. Because magnetism was never about becoming the most beautiful person in the room. It was about becoming the most present, the most authentic, the most intentional. And that is where true magnetism lies. Not anywhere else. Not in the physical. You can go to the gym all you want. You can get Botox all you want. You can dye your hair all you want. But at the end of the day, it is not going to change what's going on the inside. And that is where you become the most magnetic version of yourself. All right, thank you so much for coming to my first ever podcast. This was so scary to make. And, I'm sure as time goes on, I'll be a little bit better about not having all my notes here and like having to read. But, we're starting new things, actively challenging ourselves to, for me, working on my public speaking skills. Psychology is something that I'm really passionate about and I love talking about, and I love having these conversations with my friends. And my friends have all inspired this episode because these are all conversations that I've had with them, especially this week. For some reason, it's just been coming up for them, for me too, because we're actually just going through this process ourselves. And we never stop evolving. We never stop growing. We're ever-changing human beings. And I think it's so beautiful to just be more aware and open our eyes and say, okay, where do I want my life to go? While also accepting ourselves and accepting where we are right now, because that is the most important thing. And that is, I feel like that's really the meaning of life, to love and be loved, right? To love yourself, let yourself be loved, and open yourself up to new experiences so that you can attract abundance, magnetism, new opportunities, and build the life of your dreams. Because you are the creator of your own destiny and you get to decide what's next. I love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. Bye.